Hi guys, welcome back to Lux Life TV. Today we're going to be talking about how to deal with anxiety and depression. As most of you know, October is Mental Health Awareness Month. This topic is really close to my heart because it's something I've dealt with alone for a long time and I've recently got help. You guys are not alone and I hope this video is of some help to you. Please stay tuned and let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Please do subscribe and do comment down below and I will help you in any way I can. I've been diagnosed with anxiety and depression for a while now, and it's something I kept avoiding. Mentally, I was not ready to accept it. I had a lot of issues. I wasn't willing to talk to anybody about it because I was afraid. And what I'm trying to tell you is you're not alone. You don't have to be afraid. You can get help, and that is very important. The first thing you want to do is tell somebody, even if it's not a professional, even if it's a friend, you have to tell somebody. Trust me, it makes a world of a difference. If you feel down, please do tell somebody. You can even tell me, and I will do everything I can to help. What is anxiety? There are many different types of anxiety, but we're going to talk about generalized anxiety. Anxiety is not just feeling the jitters before taking a huge exam or before performing on stage. Anxiety is having those type of feelings to the point where it stops you from doing your day-to-day activities. Sometimes anxiety can make you sick, and that's serious, and that is something that we need to address. There is nothing wrong in having a problem. I have to stress that because I felt for the longest time ever that there was something wrong with me and I couldn't tell anybody because it was wrong to not be okay. And I'm telling you, it is okay to not be okay. We can deal with anxiety, and I'm going to show you how. Now, I understand that there's confusion when you try to couple anxiety with depression, because people assume anxiety is just about being on high alert, whereas depression is the exact opposite. Depression is a serious mood disorder where you feel insomnia. Sometimes people even sleep way too much. They have lack of motivation to do anything, so much so they even have suicidal thoughts. People call it being down in the dumps. And I feel every day people deal with some sort of depression, but this is serious when it becomes prolonged. There are people that, decide to give up on life, and that's not okay. Nothing is worth taking your life. Again, I'm stressing this again. It's okay to not be okay, and I want you to get help. Depression doesn't have to come alone. It can be a byproduct or a side effect of having diseases like heart disease or diabetes. From experience, I will tell you, my mother deals with type 2 diabetes, and she was on Zoloft, which is a type of antidepressant, for about a year. So it's not just about, being depressed alone, but it does come as a side effect. So I want you to also be aware of people around you that might have other disorders and also be depressed. But here we're talking about anxiety and depression, and more often than not, they do go hand in hand. Again, I'm stressing it is okay to get help. It is okay to not be okay. If you're feeling anything, even like you want to give up, please reach out to someone. You're not alone in this. Now, there are different ways you can manage your anxiety and depression, and whatever I'm about to tell you is not a substitute or a replacement by any means to seeking out help with a medical professional or a therapist. But there are things that you can do on your own to supplement whatever your therapist or your doctor has told you. These things have personally worked for me, so I'm telling you out of experience. Let's go over a few. The first way I found help was to find a therapist. And I know this sounds a bit obvious, but people tend to overlook this main way of management, and it's just talking. I feel besides talking with your friends, and by all means, if that's the first step you want to take, go ahead, talk to your friends, talk to a family member. But if you feel from there you're not getting any resolution to what you're feeling, the best step is to seek out a therapist. And trust me, you will feel so much lighter because I felt weighed down with all these problems. I felt like I was going through an endless amount of junk in my brain. And I say junk because I visualized it as, all these sorts of different colored papers. And I'm trying to get through all of them to figure out where it is I'm going in life. And I had no idea, I had no direction. So sometimes seeking out a therapist is the easiest way to get help. Now, this tip I use even now. Training yourself to think differently is very important, especially when you suffer from anxiety. The first thing I do is take a step back from the problem. What is it that you're worrying about? Is it something you can control? If not, is it worth putting all this effort and energy into worrying about it? Sometimes thinking like this can help you out. Sometimes talking about something like this to somebody can also help you out. You'll feel very in control once you're able to tell yourself that me worrying about this problem is not going to change the outcome. But, for example, if worrying about it does change the outcome, what are the next steps that you can do? In my opinion, the best thing to do is to write it down. Whenever you have a thought that you're worried about, write it down. I felt journaling was something that really helped me here. Um, Actually, a really close friend of mine wrote down questions and quotes for me to answer on a daily basis, and it really did help me. If there is something that is worrying you, write it down and write possible resolutions to that problem. If there's something that you can do, that's great. It's one less reason to feel anxiety. If there is nothing you can do besides wait for it to fall out or wait for it to follow through or just let the course of action take place, then you need to understand it's time to step back. And I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, training yourself to think this way, coupled with talking to somebody, it helps a lot. I think we don't give music enough credit. Music can change the way our mood is, it can change our thoughts, it can change the way we behave. So honestly, I feel music therapy can be very, very helpful. If you find a type of music that you really enjoy, sit and listen to it, but do that. Listen to the music. Try not to be distracted. Try to be alone, listen to your music, enjoy it, feel the music. I wouldn't suggest listening to something a little too loud or a little too noisy because I don't want you to be stressed. I don't want you to get worked up. It's about relaxing your body. So it doesn't have to be something classical or very soft, but just something mellow enough that you can sit quietly and enjoy. The next thing is meditation. And meditation doesn't have to be something religious or something spiritual. Personally, I'm a spiritual person, so I would meditate and pray. For you, it can be something else. Meditation can be thinking about a goal that you have in mind and personally working towards that goal. So sit quietly in a quiet room. If I were you, I'd close my eyes and just focus on my breathing. If you want to have some light music playing in the background, you can do that as well. But taking time out to relax your mind, to control your breathing, to relax your muscles is very important. Because once you're able to do that, your thinking clears up and you're able to tackle harder or more difficult problems. So taking time out for yourself is very important. And relaxing is very, very essential. Social support and having a strong social support is probably one of the most vital ways to manage your anxiety and depression. Plan activities that you're forced to complete. And what I mean by that is take responsibility. Like, for example, I would tell my parents, I'll go get groceries or I'll go walk the dog. And I'd call a friend to do it with me. That way it's something you have to get done and you're not alone in doing it. You get a change of atmosphere, you get a change of environment, and that's very, very important. I want you to plan a coffee date or a mall date or even go to the movies. Even if you're not feeling up to it, find something you're forced to do, or you can tell your friends ahead of time, there's a chance I'm going to back out, and tell them don't let you. Having a strong social support is very, very important because at the end of the day, talking about your problems, talking to somebody is the first step in managing anxiety and depression. These were just some tips that I've used in managing my anxiety and depression, and I hope these are of some help to you too. There is more information available out there. Please do check out Invisible Illness on Instagram. There are suicide prevention centers and the ADAA. I hope this video was of some help to you. And again, if you have a problem, please tell somebody. Don't stay quiet about it.